So we're live now, so I'll do a little intro and then.
We are the people of Mercury. I am your interplanetary host, Travis Montgomery. These views reflect one planet and one planet alone.
What's happening, everybody? This is Mercury's Cast. I am your host, Travis Montgomery. Be sure to go to iTunes and subscribe and rate and review if you'd like to. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. We post content on there as well as video and podcast episodes. Today, I am joined only by a transport from our old friend, Ryan. His last name is escaping me right now.
Flannery.
I was going to say Flaherty, but I knew it was wrong. Alex has gone MIA this week. I think he's chasing down some Antifa in Portland. We'll be sure to hear back from him when it's time. But John Bewley, is that how you pronounce your name?
Yep.
Bewley, how are you doing today?
Good to be here.
Good. It's good to have you. I see you on Facebook a lot, and you've got a lot of good stuff to say, in my opinion. So why not bring you on? This is kind of what it's for, is for people that are informed to come and have a conversation.
I think that's awesome, actually. More people need to do what you're doing.
Well, I find that it's a more effective way of communicating rather than just staying on the Facebook threads all day long, because that only gets you so far. And a lot of the time, like for me, I really had to train myself to stop getting angry and stop being too aggressive on the Facebook threads and kind of leave the emotion out of it and just talk about the facts, because it's a really tricky situation. It's not like a face-to-face conversation where you have, I mean, at least a little bit of accountability.
Right.
And I see you do a pretty good job of trolling people sometimes. I'm pretty impressed.
I can't help it sometimes. I've tried to curb it a little bit, but I can't help it sometimes. Sometimes I scroll by and it's like, I'm not going to respond. And then it's like, yes, I am. So I go back to it. So. Yeah.
And for instance, and like when I see something like a fake news headline that I saw today that someone was posting, and I think they're really hoping that it was true. 20 million Muslim march in some city in the Middle East against ISIS, which is kind of like what I think that's a lot of the Muslims should be doing, which would be to
reform,
speak out against ISIS. Like,
yeah.
No, we're Muslims. We're not like that. That's something different than what we do. But unfortunately, you don't see a lot of that. You actually see a lot of ISIS sympathizers from the Muslim community.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering where Islam's Martin Luther is. Where's the guy from within calling for reform?
Yeah.
Islam doesn't have one.
No, totally. There is none. There's just. Go ahead.
I know that Heimer Kemmler liked Islam because he said it has the cojones that Christianity lacks.
Oh.
A lot of people don't know that the Wahhabis were allied with the Nazis in the 40s and I think in the late 30s.
Wow.
Oh, they're anti-Semitic, war on Jews.
Yeah, I did not know that. But I could see how the two radical ideologies could kind of converge.
Right.
But anyways, let's learn a little bit about you. Are you an employed man?
Yeah, I am a plumber, industrial plumber, pipe fitter. I like to do big jobs, big pipe.
Cool, man. Yeah, if you see my shirt right here, I'm an electrician, so we're kind of brothers in that sense.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a commercial industrial electrician. I can work on houses,
nice.
But I'd prefer not to.
Right. Same with me.
In service calls, I mean,
I kind of gotta have a city. I gotta have a city to do what I like to do. I like to do steel pipe. The bigger, the better.
Okay. So that's cool. So you are employed, and you recently had a new addition to your family. I saw that on Facebook.
No, that was an old picture. That was a memory. That
was a memory?
Yeah, it was 3 years ago, actually.
Okay, so you got 3 kids, huh?
Yep.
Are they all girls?
No, one boy. Their ages are right now. Their ages are 3, 3, and 6.
3, 3, and 6.
Yep.
Did you have twins?
The 2 youngest are 9 months apart. Exactly.
Oh, Irish twins.
Yeah. So there's
nice.
a few months out of the year where they're the same age.
Yeah, I want more kids. Damn it.
I actually felt so bad for my wife when we found out she was pregnant again, because she literally just had a baby.
Double pregnancy, huh?
Yeah, I mean it was rough.
How were those pregnancies? I know some women, and it's not a matter of like they tolerate it better. It's just some pregnancies go better than others.
No, hers were horrible.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, horrible. So, but it happens. You get through it.
That's cool. How long you been a plumber?
Oh, since I'm doing 18 years, 19 years actually.
Oh wow. Okay.
Kind of did it just to fill my schedule, something to do till something better came along, and here I am, almost 20 years later, still doing it.
Yeah, I was kind of the same thing. I was trying to work on music a lot when I was getting into high school, and that didn't work out. So, I was working with my dad, kind of just to make the money. And right. I always swore because I'm like a 3rd generation electrician. So I was always like growing up like, I'm never going to be an electrician. I want to do something else. And like you said, life doesn't always plan out the way you want it to.
How do you like California?
Cool. So I live in Bakersfield right now, but I'm from the Orange County area. Nice. Right now it's still 95 degrees.
Nice.
Out here. Where are you from exactly? Baltimore?
Baltimore County, yeah, Maryland.
Yeah. Is it muggy out there yet?
Oh, it's terrible. It's like 90% humidity.
Oh man. That is terrible.
I've known Ryan Flannery since elementary school.
Oh yeah? Okay.
Kind of lost touch for a while and then met back up on Facebook. So I think it's a good thing, even though they are using it against us. But it's kind of twofold, like the internet. They basically built it to watch us, but we used it against them.
Right. And I don't know if you listened to the episodes that me and him did together, but we went deep into his past, and that he's a pretty colorful character, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's the other night when you said he was in a mess or something. I said that's a pretty broad stroke. That could mean a lot. No, but Ryan's a great guy. I love Ryan. I wish he was a little easier to troll. I try to troll him sometimes, but it doesn't work.
Well, he's got some unpopular beliefs.
Well,
and I mean something I don't necessarily agree with, but he's all for the transgender community, isn't he?
Yeah, but to me, the elephant in the room is what's going on. I just cannot wrap my head around how people like Ryan can see the weight of the foolish Donald Trump, and they just don't see it. They think he's one of them. They think he's a George Bush, and I don't know if anybody believes me when I say it, but I didn't like Donald Trump when he first started, and I only stayed in a part of the Republican Party so I could vote for Rand Paul in the primary.
Yeah, that's who you know what? Honestly, that's who I would have wanted to emerge.
Yes.
But we really got left with two candidates that were shit, and there was no way in fucking hell.
Right.
I didn't vote for Donald Trump. Anyways, but go ahead, finish your statement. I'm sorry.
But I don't think Rand could have did. I don't think Rand could have went through what Trump's going through right now. I mean, the whole world's against the guy. It's like him versus the world. I see him standing up and doing things that nobody else will do. Nobody else seems to have the strength to do. And until I see him do something that goes against what he's saying, I got to believe he's a good guy.
I mean, he is kind of saying doing what he said he would do, except for put Hillary in jail.
Well,
but he's kind of doing.
I believe they're all going to jail, but I believe he's going to spend all 4 years trying to secure the presidency.
And yes, exactly. And here's the problem: is that he might as well have ran as an independent because half the Republican Party does not like him, and they'll praise him when they do something right. There's my kid. Hi. So it was almost like he ran as an independent within the Republican Party because
right.
I mean, he's not a traditional politician, and
that's actually what Lincoln did. Lincoln wasn't a Republican. He just ran on the Republican platform.
Right, which is what Ron Paul should have done back in 2012. I think that was the year.
Well, he did. They cheated him out of his delegates, and he wouldn't speak up about it. Ron Paul won. I think it was California, and it was a few other states, and they pulled that nonsense with their rigging elections and things like that, and Ron Paul wouldn't speak up. And they tried to do that to Trump, but he spoke up. So once he spoke up, they couldn't do it.
Huh. That's interesting. I thought that Rand Paul ran Ron Paul ran as something other than a Republican.
He was in the Republican primary the last time he ran. He was in the Republican primary, and they cheated him out of it.
Yeah, I really think
it was kind of a big move. They were calling him Grand Paul. It was kind of a big move. He kind of caught on with a lot of young people, but the Republicans cheated him out. That's right. It was Obama's second term, I think, and the Republicans cheated Ron Paul out of his nomination. So a lot of Republicans I knew went out and voted for Barack Obama just because they were so mad at the Republicans. I voted for Gary Johnson that year, and I didn't know till this year what a mistake that was. That guy turned out to be a clown.
Well, I voted for Gary Johnson just because I want the numbers, because I hate the two-party system, and I want the third-party numbers to grow so that he could be allowed into the debates, which I think this next presidential election, you need less than 10%, which was the requirement before.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem that I see right now with Trump going back to that is that they're not able to get anything done. They have the majority, they have the House and the Senate, and they're still not able to get anything done because there's a lot of Republicans that are against him. They're anti-Trump. They're anti-Trump Republicans, which.
Well, I think they've been compromised. I think 80 to 90% of all those people are pedophiles, and Trump is the enemy. If they're in deep shit, if he gets his agenda, they're in deep shit. They're all going to go to jail. But I do a lot of reading, and I listen to people who've been right in the past. And Larry Nichols was on, I believe it was the Lisa Haven show. And he was saying today that the rumor is that the tapes Trump was talking about are not tapes that were made at the White House when he and Comey were at a dinner. That when the tapes came out, Project Veritas exposed the steal on the Democratic Party side, where they got undercover video of the Democrat superdelegates stealing the election.
Wow.
And the rumor is that he has a tape with John Podesta, Susan Rice, all the big players.
You said Comey too?
Yes. And
Okay.
that's the rumor, that the tape that Trump has. Everybody thinks it's a tape he might have recorded at the White House. But Larry Nichols,
Well, yeah, because he tweeted after he fired.
No.
I'm sorry. After he fired Comey, he tweeted something about those tapes.
Yes.
Or that
But,
I hope you have the tapes or something like that.
Right.
It was weird.
Yeah, but everybody thought, because Comey asked for a dinner at the White House, so everybody thought that the tapes were what Trump made at that, whatever the conversation took place at that dinner. But Larry Nichols is saying
Comey
no.
asked for that. I thought Trump was calling for these meetings, and I even meant to tell you that I wanted to talk about this, and I'm glad that we are now. I thought it was Trump that was the one calling for all these meetings, trying to figure out what was happening with the whole Russia.
The meetings, yes, but the dinner, Comey asked for a dinner because he wanted to stay on. He wanted to keep his job. But what a lot of people are saying now is when the Deputy Attorney General wrote that letter, that was the trap. And when Trump fired Comey, the trap was sprung. So now they got Mueller and they moved the investigation. That's how they moved the investigation from Trump not being investigated to, he asked everybody to leave the room. So now they're trying to box him in. And it's going to be interesting to see how he gets out of it, because Trump likes to look like he's losing and then come out with a knockout punch at the end. He's done that a couple of times, and he makes me real nervous when he's doing it, and I wish he wouldn't do it. But that's what I've noticed he does a lot.
So why do you think Trump fired Comey?
Oh, he's another swamp creature. I don't really see it how he had a choice, really. The FBI, I mean, the guy Comey locked up Martha Stewart, and he let Hillary Clinton go.
Oh.
He didn't come out and say that she didn't commit crimes. He said that nobody would prosecute her for it. I mean, I think Comey's law firm did the Clintons' taxes or something. He's in bed with them big time. Comey's in it up to his eyeballs.
He pretty much said that, yes, you're guilty of these crimes, but we're going to let you go anyways. And not only that, changed the changed the law of what was it, the intent behind destroying the documents or whatever it was. I can't remember offhand.
But I don't know if you caught any of the Jeff Sessions grilling, but it seemed to me like he was a boss, and he was too smart for him. Jeff Sessions outsmarted.
I didn't. I caught the Comey hearings, but which did nothing but actually ruin some of the Democrats' credibility and strengthen Trump's credibility, in my opinion.
Right, and that's exactly what it did. But if you listen to the news, you wouldn't know that. Everybody, mainstream media, they're in bed with the Democrats also. I mean, even Rand Paul came out and said Obama was listening to everybody during the elections. They followed him. Obama's into it deep. I mean, I think Trump was shocked by the amount of corruption he saw when he got there. I think he really thought when he won, okay, now it's time to bury the hatchet, mend fences, and work together to make the country better. I don't think
it's in the swamp now, is
it? He tried to let the Clintons go. He, from what I understand, he said, just go, take your millions and go. Let me fix the country and everything, we won't come after you. But they couldn't do it. They wouldn't do it. It's crazy. These are actually exciting times to be alive. I think. I really think the fate of the Republic hangs on what happens with Trump. If they get Trump out, if they're able to oust Trump, that's it. I mean, why not just throw the whole Constitution out the window if you can do that?
I mean, there has to be a really severe crime in order to impeach somebody.
Right. But they're trying, and I'm telling you, the Republican establishment is a bigger problem than the Democrats. Because if impeachment comes, it's going to come from the Republicans. It won't come from the Democrats. They don't have the numbers to do it. So,
right.
Paul Ryan, he's a traitor. John McCain, I cannot believe these people are still in office. I have no idea how McCain won that election again. It's just crazy.
All right, go ahead.
But I believe they're desperate, and it seems to me like they're either trying to desensitize everybody to the fact that, hey, the president might get killed, or they're trying to activate mentally ill morons to go do it. You know what I mean? When celebrities say something's cool, you always have weak-minded idiots that go out and do things, just like the shooter the other day. I mean, how many celebrities now have come out talking about? I mean, they're having plays where they kill Donald Trump like Julius Caesar. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, the country has lost their G-dang mind.
But I believe, it was the last time the country was like this was when Abraham Lincoln. Literally, the last time the Democrats acted like this was when they got their slaves taken away. It's crazy.
And I thought it was interesting what you said about Obama during the election, because I don't know what the evidence is, but it appears that the Russia tried to interfere with the election somehow, some way. I don't know. Nobody knows, but
I don't believe that.
If it did, it happened under Obama's watch.
Right.
With his intelligence community, with his appointees.
Yes, that's actually what Larry Nichols was saying, who was in charge of security when this happened. But John McAfee said anybody good enough to hack in to the server would certainly be able to hide their tracks. They said if it looks like Russia did it, then Russia did not do it.
Right, that's hacking 101. That's right. The first rule of hacking.
And it didn't occur to me until John McAfee said something. He said, how many hackers do you see them catch? The only hackers they ever catch are like 12 or 13-year-old kids who were careless about something. You never see them catch a 35-year-old hacker, ever.
And how convenient that it would be that Russia was at the bottom of it. I mean, just come on. It's
right. And
silly.
Russia's been to the bottom of the barrel. Russia's trying to climb out, and they're using us to try to keep Russia back down. Russia kicked out the globalists, and they're trying to get their country back. They're actually hanging by a thread with their economy, their GDP, and all that. The sanctions we put on them. Russia is trying to get their country back.
They're also very corrupt with the way that they do business.
Yes.
Which we've seen at the WikiLeaks to Vault 9 stuff.
Sure. And everybody's got their problems, but I don't believe they want World War III, and they're also a threat to the New World Order.
I don't think so either. And I think that it's a really good thing Hillary Clinton wasn't elected, because her and Russia don't get along.
I think they get along better than we think. But because every time you turn around and look, it's always the Democrats that are in bed with the communists. I don't see how the people even could blame Trump for any of this. Every time you turn around, it's the Democrats making deals with them. I mean, if you can Google back. I think it was Senator Ted Kennedy that was asking Russia to hack the election years ago. I'd have to look that up, though. That's a little. I remember something about that.
Oh, yeah, I do remember hearing something about that. Damn. It was Ted Kennedy, wasn't it, during the Reagan election?
Yes.
It was like in the 80s,
yes.
wasn't it?
Yes. They and just like there's the one thing I don't get also, I don't like Jared Kushner and Ivanka in there because they're Democrats. I'm not sure why the Democrats don't want them in there.
Don't want who?
Ivanka and her husband, Jared Kushner,
Okay.
as Trump's advisors. I don't like them because they're Democrats. Really, they are.
Yeah,
And
yeah, they are.
I'm not sure why the Democrats are so upset about them being
Ivanka's married to Jeff Kushner?
Jared.
Jared?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's her husband.
That's
He
interesting.
owns what's it, 666 Broadway or New York Avenue or whatever. Address is 666.
Yeah.
He's got ties to George Soros.
Huh.
But Trump could just pardon General Flynn, and then there's no what can you investigate after that?
Well, why do you think he got rid of Mike Flynn?
I heard that Jared Kushner told him the whole thing would go away if he let Flynn go. The whole Russia thing would go away. And
Well,
Trump realizes now that was a mistake. And there was also people like Rex Priebus. He was going around and firing certain people without the president knowing. He would go in and say, hey, the president wants your resignation. And that person would quit. And later on, the president would find out about it and be mad. But, what was done was done. I don't think Trump realized at first that he was surrounded. But I think he realizes that now. I think they got him boxed in. I know he's going to get out of it. I just don't know how.
yeah, but to me, it doesn't seem like he knew anything that was going on because he told Comey to investigate, find the satellites, and that's what Comey testified.
Yeah.
Although he did tell him to back off of Mike Flynn, and Mike Flynn is known to have a relationship with that one Russia ambassador, but which is not uncommon for
Right. A general.
In a potential incoming administration, or definitely an incoming administration, to have.
Well, the thing they got Michael Flynn on is he didn't report something properly, a relationship or a job he had or something. The paperwork wasn't filled out correctly.
Huh.
And that's what they have on him. And it actually, from what I understand, it takes a lawyer to fill these papers out. And it's kind of like OSHA. It's made up so they can always find something wrong,
Oh yeah.
But Flynn has had a target on his back because he was the general that led the pushback against Obama when we tried to enter Syria and they tried to let us be Al Qaeda and ISIS Air Force. General Flynn was the one that blew the lid off of that. You remember when you saw the soldiers all over social media holding up signs saying they didn't join the Air Force or wherever to fight for ISIS?
Yeah, no one was a fan of it.
Right.
Although we still ended up invading Syria, they just didn't tell us about it.
Right. But if it's to crush ISIS, okay. But let's see what happens with it. I was listening to General Mattis, and I don't know if you caught that interview, but General Mattis is a total badass. I think he told him to wipe ISIS out, and I think that's what that man's going to do.
General Mattis?
Mattis, yeah, that's it. The Marine Corps guy, the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah.
He said on that interview, their normal scope of battle is to win by attrition, and that's where you just push the enemy from place to place to place. He said their strategy with ISIS is win by annihilation. So they're not trying to move them out. Their mission is to go in there and kill them all.
Well, and that's why a lot of people I hear are enlisting now is that under Obama that he was so gun shy to do anything, and Trump's just kind of been like, "Hey, go do your thing."
Right. Look what the Iranians did to our ships under Obama's watch. Are you kidding me? When the Iranians came in, commandeered one of our ships and took our people prisoner, you think they're going to try that shit with Trump in office? They better not.
Yeah. And the Iran deal was just completely. That's one of the worst things about the Obama administration, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, people don't realize how much good Trump has done already. Our economy should have collapsed by now. It really should have. If it wasn't for the $3 trillion new money that got pumped into it, we probably would have had another crash like 2008.
Huh.
And it's just amazing people don't realize what he's doing in addition to fighting for his life, you know? So just think of how much he could do if he wasn't fighting the deep state.
Yeah, it's from the reports. Well, if you ask the MSNBC, CNN, you're not going to get those good economic reports.
I meant to ask you. You said somebody was out chasing Antifa. Is that going on? Are they rallying somewhere?
No, Alex wasn't, but our buddy Jake does. He actually flies to these events and posts videos of them.
That's cool.
Yeah, if you check out the video that's in the group chat, it's a pretty good one, and it'll lead you to his YouTube page, Jake Colgazer.
Cool.
It's on Mercury's Cast Facebook. We posted a video of Jake.
Mm-hmm.
I believe this one was in Austin, but he was also in Oakland a week ago, 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago. And these rallies are getting fucking really heated, as what we saw in Berkeley, where there's actually, fists being thrown and there's weapons being used. Right. I think it's only a matter of time before there's guns that are brought to these events.
Right.
But for the most part, it's like these Patriot dudes who a lot of the time are bigger and stronger than these skinny Antifa kids.
Yeah, it doesn't take much, does it?
No. But please go check out the video that we posted on Mercury's Cast, because it'll lead you to his YouTube videos and then a number of other accounts that are similar. And I went down a rabbit hole last night of watching these videos, and it's pretty interesting. See where the state of the politics are in this country, where these people come out in the thousands, in the hundreds, in the thousands, and they want to shut down the Patriot speech. They call everyone Nazis.
They're paid
neo-Nazis. I mean, if you're a Trump supporter, that does not mean you're a Nazi. I'm sorry.
Right. Well, I'm tired of seeing old ladies get punched in the face and them saying they're fighting fascism.
Right.
That's bullshit. But what did it for me, it seems to me like the establishment's really stupid, because if they wanted Trump to lose, they should have endorsed him. What did it for me is when I watched the debates and I saw Jeb Bush snarl at Trump. I could see it in his face. He hated that man. And he said, "You'll never be the president." He snarled at him. It was like, whoa, hold on. When I saw that, that's what made me look at Donald Trump again. Thinking, hold on, wait a minute, we could be on to something. The Bushes hate him. The Clintons hate him. I mean, everybody hated him, which kind of made me like him. But I will tell you that
I think sometimes when you move around, your microphone moves too.
Oh, sorry.
A little lower, a little louder.
Sorry.
I just wanted to just let you know.
Oh, cool. But Yeah, what did it for me was when I saw all the old players, the Clintons, the Bushes, everybody lined up against him, and you could see it in their face that they genuinely hated the guy. That's what made me look at him. And what keeps me up at night is the thought that it all could be a ruse. You know what I mean? But I don't think it is. Full spectrum dominance. They stuck him in, and he was with them from the beginning, and this is all a show. And I'll admit that could still be real, but I haven't seen anything to indicate that yet. But I mean, that's always a possibility.
Yeah, and going back to what you said about the election, they weren't ready for his responses because they weren't necessarily like political debate responses.
Right.
Calling him Lion Ted, you're Lion Ted and wrong.
Yeah, that's actually a psychology thing, where you come up with a little name that nobody's ever heard before and it sticks. Because that's what he did with everybody. Low energy Jeb, Little Marco. What did he call Hillary? Crooked Hillary.
Crooked Hillary was the best.
Yeah, that was actually a psychological thing.
He still used that. He used that today in a tweet.
Did he? And I'm not on Twitter, and I keep saying I'm gonna sign up to Twitter just to follow Donald Trump. He's not really on Facebook.
I have his Twitter's. I'm big on Twitter. I have his Twitter linked to my phone. It was something about. Hold on, let me find it. He's hilarious though. Sometimes I wish he would stop tweeting so much, but then again, I feel like that's kind of what got him elected. Crooked H destroyed phones with hammer, bleached emails, and had husband meet with AG days before she was cleared, and they talk about obstruction? ?
Right.
Why is it Hillary Clinton's family and Dems dealing with Russia are not looked at, but my non-dealings are?
Right. That's a play right out of that's a play right out of Saul Alinsky's book. You can always tell what the Democrats are doing by what they accuse everybody else of doing. Accuse your enemy of what you do. That's one of their tactics, and it's actually been working pretty well for them. But like I said, I think Trump has an ace up his sleeve, and I think he's going to get out of it. I think this is obviously an attempted coup, but I think it's going to be put down.
Well, I think we would have found some evidence now if there was evidence of anything.
Right. Well,
it's been 11 months.
Well, Joseph Stalin said, "Bring me the man and I'll find the crime." That's what's going on right now. Now, I believe Maryland's Attorney General is leading the charge in a lawsuit against Donald Trump, saying the Saudis paid his hotel hundreds of thousands of dollars and whatnot. So that's a new thing that they just announced the other day. But I find that amazing. With all the money issues this state has, we find money to go ahead and lead the charge on that kind of a lawsuit. So I don't think the people of Baltimore will ever wake up, ever. It's been a Democratic utopia 60 years, and it just keeps getting worse, and I don't think there's any hope for it ever.
I don't think there's any major cities that are actually conservative. I mean, maybe Dallas?
Right, and there are every ghetto in the world is run by the Democrats. And
they keep voting Democrat, and nothing ever changes.
Yes. And, they were saying last week at Baltimore City, Maryland's basically a red state with 2 or 3 blue blotches on it, and that turns the whole state blue. Baltimore City, PG County, and Montgomery County. The rest of it, everywhere else is red.
Right. That's why thank God for the electoral college.
Right, but it screws us here in this state, but we're not worth many votes, so I guess it's okay.
But if we didn't, then the major cities would.
Yes, New York and California would pick the president every time.
Yeah, which is not what. It's not fair, and it's not what the people want.
Yeah. But I had another point I was going to make, and it seemed to have slipped my mind. Yeah, Maryland passed sweeping gun reform like 4 or 5 years ago. 3, 4, 5 years ago, somewhere in there. And murders were up like 25% this year.
After the gun reform.
Yes. I mean, Baltimore City is a war zone. It was on the news last night that a mother called the police because 6 boys jumped her son, and they blew her brains out in front of her kids. They walked by and shot her in the head in front of her kids because she called the police.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. And I heard them saying this morning on the radio about making it easier for congressmen to carry guns because, you know, obviously they're targets. But my thing is, this guy had a security detail there at the shooting. The congressman that was on the intelligence committee, he had a security detail with him. Had that been regular people, that would have been really, really bad. I mean, nobody got shot. That guy had a security detail. What about us? You know, where's our security? In this state, me having my 3 children with me is not reason enough for me to carry a gun. But if I have $10,000 cash on me, that's a reason. You know, I mean, everything's so crazy and backwards.
How close to the main city do you live?
I am right outside. I'm about 15 minutes away from the city.
Oh.
And like I said, to me, the answer is more guns, not less. You know, if there were more people that carried, you know, it wouldn't be as bad as it is.
Yeah. You know, what's the saying? An armed society is a friendly society.
Right. And, you know, back in the day, they used to duel in the streets. People would probably be nicer to one another if that still went on today.
Yeah, that famous duel between Aaron Burr and not Thomas Jefferson, was it?
Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Jackson, yeah. They hated each other forever. And then when Jackson won, it ruined his life because he took the man's life.
Right.
Well, I mean, I would lean towards more guns being a better thing, but then again, you never know.
Well, I don't want 1,000 Barney Fipes running around either. I mean, whatever kind of training you want to require for somebody to do that, I'm all for it. You know, but as far as there's not a police officer in this state that would dream of taking their family down to Baltimore City for an Oriole game and not bring their gun with them. But,
really? It's that bad?
Oh, yeah. Just, it's bad. So, like I said, me having my 3 children with me is not a good enough excuse. And I guess the state police's eyes to carry a gun. But if I have a large amount of cash on me, that's a good excuse. To me, I can't believe that. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
But you live in California, so you know all about gun control.
Yeah. They've gotten, I mean, it's not terrible. I can't legally own a gun, so I can't really speak on it. But
okay.
What? I should really get one. I think that you can have a concealed carry permit out here, I believe.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, how hard it was to get. You can have them here, but you have to have a good excuse why you need it. You know, and your family's protection apparently is not a good excuse. If you're a business owner and you have money or equipment that's worth money, that's a good excuse.
So tell me more about Baltimore. Why do you think? And it's not just because it's all black people. There was my joke for the podcast. There was my joke. Why do you think it's in such bad shambles? And a two-parter to that question. I have also heard that the police have been instructed at some point, and this is from a former Baltimore PD officer. I don't know if he was lying or not, but he said that they have been instructed to racially, what's the damn word I'm looking for?
Profile,
yes. Is that something that you've heard of before?
It wouldn't surprise me, but I came in on the tail end when I started working. I came on the tail end of America still being great. There were so many. I watched with my own two eyes thousands of jobs leave Baltimore City since 1998. I mean, GM was there. Black and
How old
Decker.
are you?
I am 39.
Okay, I'm 33. So.
Oh, you look older.
Yeah, I know. I got a lot of miles on me.
But the industry left. Ross Perot, I'll never forget it. I watched the debates when Ross Perot said there's going to be a giant sucking noise, and that's going to be all the jobs going to Mexico. And lo and behold, that man was right. When the industry left Baltimore, Beth Steel, we had one of the best steel plants on the East Coast. When all that left, it was all shut down. Beth Steel at one time employed like 100,000 people. And I mean, the industry left. They packed up, they went to Mexico. When the industry left, the tax dollars left with it. So now you're left with, okay, do we hire more police officers? Do we hire teachers? Or do we hire firefighters? Because now you don't have the budget that you used to have because all your industry left. Because our politicians sent them overseas or down south. And if just one time, Baltimore City would elect somebody other than a Democrat, I believe they would do something. Just to keep them honest, just one time, elect somebody different and see if you get a better job. But they won't do it. It'll never happen.
Do you have other friends or other colleagues that think the same way that you do, or is it mostly just you're surrounded by other liberals?
It's a good mix. At work, mainly, a lot of people think the way I do because they've seen what I've seen. But my friends are a different story. I only have maybe one or two friends that think the way I do. The rest of them are leaning toward the other way.
Huh.
So I'm kind of constantly. It's a battle I'm kind of constantly fighting.
Pretty interesting. So, what do you think that can be done to fix the situation out there? How are the homeless? Is there a lot of homelessness out there?
Yes, there's a lot of homeless, but I mean, this is America, and people don't realize nobody starves to death here. There are food banks, and the homelessness has gotten worse since 2008. I'm going to say last winter. No, maybe it was 2 years ago. We were parking under this overpass, and we used to call it Tent City because that's where all the homeless people went because there was an overpass. They would all make, makeshift tents and things like that. Well, the mayor decided for some reason that they didn't want those people there. So she kicked them all out down there,
Really?
and they kicked them all out. Go to the shelter. The shelter's not safe. And all they were doing was sleeping under a bridge, basically. I imagine they made people uncomfortable or whatever the reason, but the mayor of Baltimore sent the police down to move the homeless.
I feel like that is such a big growing problem right now in every major city. And
by design.
People that are poor, it's, the split is just becoming greater and greater.
Right. They want to make us like Mexico. In Mexico, there's no middle class. There are rich people and there are poor people. That's it. No, nothing in between.
Well, I kind of, maybe I have a little more faith. I think that the middle class will always be there. There'll always be your small business owners.
If they basically had their hands around our throat choking us out. And I believe when we elected Trump, we got their hands off our throat. I believe they're still on top of us, But I believe we did get to take a breath, and we can pull strength from that. Now, what happens in the 2018 elections will be interesting. Because I really thought the part that worried me when Trump won is I thought the Democrats were going to come closer to center. I thought they would come back closer to center so that way they could win some more seats and get back in the game. But they didn't. They doubled down on what made them lose. So
they sure did.
Right. So they should lose a bunch more. I think there's 26 Democratic seats that are up for grabs in 2018. It'll be interesting to see how many spots they lose.
Yes, it will.
I think the gender thing was what pushed it over the edge myself. That's when I think, everybody went along with the gays and everything else, but when you said you wanted,
you're not siding with your buddy Ryan here that we should be able to call somebody 63 different genders, and
right.
And some grown ass burly man should be able to go in the bathroom with my daughter.
Right, and that's sick because the same people that tell us we should do that are the same people that tell us science about global warming. They deny the science that says chromosomes make up your gender, but they're all about the fake science for global warming.
You know what? That is a very fucking awesome point. And I'm not one to tell anybody what they want to. I mean, do what you want to do, but it's just getting ridiculous.
Right.
I'm a registered libertarian,
mm-hmm.
and that's just the way I'll vote because I really don't like the two-party system. I actually think both parties should be split into two, and then we should have libertarians in the Green Party, like a 6-party system. I think would do great, but that's not the way it's designed. Right. And and like I said before, that's what I think the problem with Trump is that he is kind of an independent that won the Republican presidential campaign because he is.
That's exactly what happened. Yes, that's exactly what happened.
And the Republicans don't like it, and none of the Democrats do. And he's not even that conservative. So it's.
How about on the kind of off subject, but did you notice all the plastic surgery on James Comey's face?
No, I didn't.
I don't think that guy's face moved the whole time he was talking. He must have had a gallon of Botox in his face.
I mostly listen to audio content, only like just podcasts all day long. That's all I do.
Gotcha.
It's a cross section of conservative, and it's not only political. I listen to a lot of comedy, and I'm a huge MMA guy.
Right.
But I tend to like Mark Levin a lot.
Yeah, I know Mark. I listen to him occasionally.
He's pretty spot on with a lot of the stuff that he says.
Alex Jones actually was talking about Mark Levin. I think he was the one. Wasn't he the one that was on about WikiLeaks? Everybody was saying what WikiLeaks was going to drop, and Mark was the only one that.
Well,
that really
he's predicted a couple different things.
Right.
And I can't cite him off my head, but he's a great conservative. But he's like a straight constitutional conservative, straight by the Constitution.
Yes. I think the Constitution's a good thing.
It is. I mean, some of it's not. Some of it's kind of outdated, like the Bible or whatever. But it's
right.
For the most part, it's how they want their vision for this country and the people that built this country. That's the rules that they set down for the foundation, and how we became to be such the best country in the world. Pretty much was because of that document.
Right. How about the MMA? Have you been watching that since it started, like the Ultimate Fighter?
Oh yeah, I have another podcast completely for it.
They used to call it the Ultimate Fighter because fight multiple fights in one night. The winner of the fight advanced to the next fight and fought the winner of the next fight. So ended up fighting like 4 or 5 fights, and then that's why it was the Ultimate Fighter. And now they got rounds, and to me, it's become commercialized.
Yeah, there's a lot of science that goes involved with that. It turns out it's not so healthy to fight 3 times in one night. Not for your brain, not for your body, and not for longevity of a career.
Right. But that's what the men used to do.
Well, guess what, buddy? We just did an hour.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we did. Well, that was easy.
Yeah, it was easy. We didn't even need our topics.
Right. Well, next time maybe I'll be a little bit more ready for it.
Yeah, you know what? My prep was not as on point as it should have been for this one because I've had a lot of stuff going on. But we got to know each other and we got to know where we're coming from. So I think that's important enough. And our listeners will get to know who you are as well.
Cool. I'd like to come back whenever you want to have me back on. I said maybe I'll prepare better next time.
Yeah, no worries. Just stay involved in the group chat. And we're going to figure it all out there. We'll have you on with Alex next time. He's probably going to break your balls a little bit. That's what he does, but don't be offended.
Cool. No. I like this stuff, man. I got pretty
yeah, especially on the East Coast. Jesus Christ.
Right.
How do you like it?
You don't have to hang up with this. It's been Mercury's cast. Signing off. Everybody. Free tickets in.
How do you like it? 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 Whether you like